Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I have my 2024 college football Week 7 prop picks and best bets. So I have 8 great prop picks for you today, along with 2 best bets. I have an over and under total for you, along with a pick versus the spread. So my internet's struggling a little bit today. I don't know what the issue is, but I'm working as hard as I can to get these picks out to you. We are on a winning streak. We're building a small money tree here in the prop market, and we're going to continue doing that this week. So I really like this week because I have a lot of information and data to go off of. So when I got in the lab, I had a really good opportunity to kind of dissect these numbers and get the best picks out for you as possible. But with that being said, always keep what you like, leave what you don't. If you don't agree with something that I'm telling you, remember this is an informational channel. Although every pick that I make, I also bet them myself. That you do have the option to go against what I'm saying. But with that being said, let's go and look and see how we did last week here in the prop market. So last week we went 7-5 on our prop picks, 35 and 33 for the season at a 51% win total. So we're doing okay, but we're gonna do a lot better as we get going this week because I have 8 great picks for you, and I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one, Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is currently averaging passing yards at 256, projected at 244. He's went over this total the last 2 games. In fact, he's went over 300 yards passing in the last 2 games. So Alabama's really starting to open up their offense a little bit for him. Like I said, averaging 256. The number they had him set at is super low compared to what his average is and what he's been doing recently. I'm expecting no regression because after the loss to Vanderbilt, I'm expecting a very motivated Jalen Milroe. And with that being said, I like his over 238 passing yards. My second pick for you today is Miller Moss from USC. Now, he's average passing yards at 280. I got him projected at 254. So, as you can see, his average is really high because this year he's had some really big games. Now, he's facing a Penn State defense that I feel is really good against the run, but they haven't been tested versus the pass. They haven't been tested in the air this year, to be honest. And I look for a similar game plan for USC as they had against Michigan. I think Moss will have a similar game that he had versus Michigan, which I feel that Michigan defense is better than the Penn State defense, in my opinion. He threw for 283 yards in that game, and I definitely see him be able to get over 244.5 passing yards for this one. I like Miller Moss in this game versus Penn State. The next guy is Michael Hawkins from Oklahoma. Average pass plus rush yards is 230. That's based off one game. So we don't have a lot of information on him, but I got him projected at 214. He's going against a UT defense who also has not been tested this year. Michael Hawkins is a dual threat quarterback. He can run and he can throw. 61 rushing yards in a game. I see him having a lot of opportunity and usage rate because I feel like they'll be behind in this game, which I think is going to cause him to have to make some plays. From what everything I hear from Oklahoma, he's going to be a stud, and he is currently a stud. So once again, I like his over 205 pass plus rush yards from Michael Hawkins. Next guy's on your screen is Drew Allar. This guy cashed in for us last week, and I'm riding with him again as he's going against a team, USC defense that, in my opinion, is super overrated. Um, they struggle with allowing big explosive plays. They're at the bottom as far as allowing explosive plays. They don't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, so Drew Allar is going to have a lot of time to sit back there and make plays. And also, Penn State's new offensive coordinator really wants to open the game up for him. I think with Allar's experience, I really like his over 208 passing yards. Not a lot for a guy with great experience, and he has really good receivers around him that can make some big plays. Next guy is Travion Henderson from Ohio State. Now, some people may be a little hesitant to pick him because he does share the backfield with Judkins, who's another great explosive running back. But he's hit this number that they have for him on Prize Picks 4 out of 5 games. And the game he didn't hit it, he was only missed it by 1 yard. He's super explosive. He's good in the pass game and the rush game. He's averaging 7.8 rush yards per attempt. So 7.8 yards per attempt on rushing. He makes plays after getting hit, and this Oregon defense once again has not been challenged. I'm not sold on this Oregon defense when it comes to big games, and you'll see me talk about that a little later. But I love Travion Henderson over 60.5 rush plus receiving yards. Next guy I have is another guy we picked last week that he cashed in for us last week, and that's Avery Johnson from Kansas State. His average pass plus rush yards is at 240. I got him projected at 270 this week. Now, the reason why there's one Prop King emoji up there, which means I'm confident, but not 100% confident, is because his number has went up a lot. But there's a reason for that. He's playing against this Colorado defense that has been shown to be a lot better, but I still don't believe they're as good as people think they are. I still think they're a bad defense. I think the light has come on for Avery Johnson, and they have woke him up by using his rushing ability. Colorado does not do well versus rushing quarterbacks, so I think they're going to allow a lot of quarterback runs for Avery Johnson. So I like his over 262 pass plus rush yards. Next guy is Jaden Blue from Texas. He's a do-it-all running back for the Texas Longhorns. Now, I think they're going to be a little hesitant in letting Quinn Ewers just take over and do everything like he did before. So I look for Texas to kind of lean on him as they work Ewers back. He's averaging 5+ targets, so he's catching a lot of balls out the backfield. See a lot of screen plays going towards his way. I see him getting 20+ touches, so I really like the usage rate. Oklahoma's defense is pretty good, but I'm not sure if they've seen this offensive line that Texas is going to put out there. I see them trying to be physical versus this Oklahoma team. I like it's over 85.5 rush plus receiving yards. Next guy is Jackson Dart from Ole Miss. I got three Prop King emojis for him, like I had for Miller Moss. His average passing yards is at 337. I got him projected at 310. He hasn't been under 300 very often this year, but in his last two games, he has kind of regressed. With that being said, they're at a 62 point total versus LSU, so that's the over and under. And Ole Miss implied total is at 33.5. So they're expecting Ole Miss to score somewhere around 34 points. Jackson Dart is going to have a bounce back game. He struggled versus Kentucky. He struggled the last two games, to be honest. But I think that he makes some big plays in the passing game versus this very, very, very bad LSU secondary. I like his over 290 passing yards for Jackson Dart. Now to my best bets. My pick that I have versus the spread is Ohio State versus Oregon. I like -3 for Ohio State. I really like this team because Oregon, anytime they've played a really good team, they've kind of messed up, kind of not hit their mark. I think until they prove to me that they can play well on the big stage, I'm gonna rock with Ohio State. I like their running game. I like their defense. Oregon, I'm a little hesitant because their rushing defense has not been great this year. Part of the reason why we picked Trayvon Henderson. I really like Ohio State -3. And my second pick is Boise State versus Hawaii. Now, this pick's a little bit off the grid, but I like it nevertheless. Boise State is a rushing team. Hawaii is a team that's going to struggle to score versus this Boise State underrated defense. So the under 61, that's a lot of points for a game where your number one offense is rushing the ball. That's Boise State, and you have a decent defense. So I really like this under 61.5 for Boise State versus Hawaii. Now for a recap, Milrow over 238, Moss over 244, Hawkins over 205, Aller over 208, Henderson over 60, a rush plus receiving yards, Johnson over pass plus rush yards for 62. I like Blue over 85 rush and receiving yards, and I like Dart over 290 passing yards. If you enjoyed this video, if you found any of this information useful, please like and subscribe to the channel. I have NFL picks, college football picks all season. I'm your tour guide all throughout the year for college football and NFL. Make sure you like and subscribe because sometimes these numbers move. You want to get the best out of these picks because these numbers don't always stay the same. And sometimes by the time you watch the video, the number's totally different. So like I always say, keep what you like, leave what you don't, and let's cash.